Good morning everyone. In this video I'm going to analyze the live price action for EU and DXY to see what trading opportunities we may have for today. You're going to see my analysis and my strategy, so if you're interested in those then please stick around. Right, we are going to start off here on the daily as always, right? We have EU on the top, DXY on the bottom. What's the daily showing us? Well, as you'll know if you watched my previous videos, I have a bullish bias, right? Just overall for the daily. Okay, right, we made this bullish leg, broke that market structure, pulled back to discount, and now we're continuing while we're also mitigating POIs on the way, order block here, continuing to go bullish, right? So we'll have definitely confirmed our bullish trend on the daily once we have this second market structure shift, I would say, of this external structure here. So if you didn't see my video yesterday about multi-time frame analysis and biases and why I am bullish, I would recommend you to go and watch that, right? Why I'm going to be bullish for a while. Okay, so this buy side liquidity up here is my main target because that is the leg we're currently working within, so that will be our buy side liquidity high, right? So what's price doing? Well, today overnight it's already been quite bullish, right, which is unfortunate. I'll explain more why on the lower time frames, but when you have this sort of price movement overnight, it's not the best thing for the morning, right? Especially on a Monday anyway. So we've already taken the buy side liquidity from previous daily high, previous weekly high, and then these highs from the previous week before that. So as you can see, we're now pulling back from that. So what happened before then to cause that bullish reaction? We have this inverse fair value gap here. We had a fair value gap, right, which we broke through, right, no problem, came back, retested it, and then we went bullish again today. So I'm just going to zoom back out there. So that's why I have a bullish bias, especially for today, because we've already mitigated a daily POI, right? So it's already had its bullish reaction, which has sort of confirmed that zone here, but we've taken loads of buy side liquidity. So as you can expect, we're having a pullback and we're probably going to seek out some POIs now back down into a discount, which we'll see on the lower time frames. Okay, but this buy side liquidity high here is still my target, so I'm still bullish, but in the short term, maybe this morning if there's an opportunity, right, my bias is shorts, but it's against trend and more riskier. So we'll have to see that on the lower time frames, see if anything good is to come of that. So I can already see my bias just from the daily because it's quite obvious from all this buy side liquidity and our trend. So if we look at DXY for the moment, DXY has continued to mitigate daily imbalance, breakdown, right? It's left behind a daily imbalance again yesterday, which we haven't really gone into, but we've broken down again already, probably due to some lower time frame POIs, but also because EU has mitigated this one here and gone bullish. Okay, so there's a bit of divergence, of course, because we have this high here and this low on DXY to this lower low, whereas this high to this lower high. I'm not sure that SMC divergence will last for very much longer, right? If we continue our bullish trend this week, we'll probably take out this high anyway. Okay, so I think that's enough for the daily. Let's go down to the 4 hour. Let's see how it's shaping up. Right, so I think things are shaping up nicely here on the 4 hour. So we'll have a look at DXY for a moment. We made this bearish leg down, pulled back, made another bearish leg down. So if we look into that, what do we have? A 4 hour fair value gap, right? Imbalance. We pulled right back up to the 50% mark of that imbalance, and we've broken down again, making another lower low. Okay, we've left behind another imbalance, order blocks and everything on DXY, right? Matching EU pretty much. Shame we didn't go into this daily imbalance, so that is there. We may revisit it at some point, but clearly the 4 hour imbalance was enough for the time being. So if we look at our current 4 hour price action leg, our current range, our current dealing range, okay, we pull back down to fill this fair value gap here completely. 4 hour order block, 4 hour breaker block as well, I believe here, right? Up candle before the down move, taking out liquidity. Okay, but either way, fair value gap filled, the inverse fair value gap on the daily, all around in the same area, respected, and then we went bullish overnight for the open during the Sunday, Monday hours. Okay, so high here. So from this low here, this swing low, to this swing high is our range. We're currently in the premium. Here's the discount. So what do we do now in our dealing range? We look to see what POIs we have in our discount. We see this obvious 4 hour order block here. Okay, so I've got that order block line here. We've got a BPR as well, I believe, because we have this bullish fair value gap. We have a bearish fair value gap, so those were remained open. We spiked through it, but I believe that's still in play here. Okay, so we've got that BPR there, but we've got a nice order block on the 4 hour, which is a high probability order block because it's got a fair value gap after it. Okay, same with DXY. So we've taken plenty of buy side liquidity and we're in a premium. So like I said, we could probably see short-term shorts down into this zone here where we'd get those high probability longs with these higher time frame and 4 hour order blocks and POIs here to possibly go long from for our final target, this buy side liquidity here. So I think the biases are clear again on the 4 hour, agrees with the daily. So let's go down to the 1 hour and see what that looks like. Okay, so here on the 1 hour, more of the same, because we're obviously going to have a clear bullish leg. I'm just going to use the same leg. I don't think there's any need to refine this dealing range on the hourly, in my opinion. Okay, we've definitely got a breaker block here in the discount because these two up candles before the down candle taking liquidity, right, and having that up move, right? So I believe that is a breaker block. I don't need to draw that out because we've also got order block in the area on the 4 hour, 1 hour order block here, and I guess here as well, of course. And this also has a fair value gap as well, of course, so they're high probability order blocks, right? We've got the BPR in the same area as well, the balanced price range. So I think everything's stacking nicely from the daily time frame, higher time frame, to the lower time frame, 4 hours and 1 hours, right? So this discount area is definitely a good area, and it's also a draw on price. So if you are looking for shorts here, it's against trend, and it's definitely lower probability because price is going to possibly chop up and be corrective here, especially during London. So what I touched on earlier, when we move like this during Asia and the evening, it tends to cause a consolidated London, or London doesn't move predictably, right? So maybe even the first half of London, if we're lucky, will just be a bit of range, and then we might get some sort of obvious move. But yeah, here's our draw on price. Imbalance here will be drawn down to there. Conditions for London might not be great. It might be a New York type trade because of this expansion overnight. So obviously after expansions, usually we get a bit of consolidation. Okay, so London may consolidate. However, I hope that's clear. I hope you understand that. Got loads of draws on price below, and it's a high confluence area for us to look for longs from, right? Shorts from this area here. So if we look over at DXY now as well, we had loads of build up of confluences in this area as well. 4 hour and 1 hour fair value gap. So if that's unclear, here's the 1 hour one. All of that was rejected, and that's when we broke down. Price is also pulling back. We've got gaps here we may want to fill with order blocks. We've got a strong order block here, fair value gap again as well. So we'll see how far we're going to pull back, but as you can see, price is moving. So let's go down to the M15. Let's see what trades may look like for today. All right, so at the moment, it looks like we're respecting the current M15 order flow. We haven't got a typical sell day just yet. We haven't swept Asia highs, which I don't think we will do after this expansion. London may just continue down towards this zone here, right? We had an M15 order block at the midline of Asia. Price, you know, broke down here, be more of a M5 market shift, I guess, but you can see it on the M15, pulled back into that zone here, respected that order block. Now we're breaking down again. Now, what I will say is it's of course possible. We've got a possible fair value gap here if we close in the next 10 minutes with this gap up at the top here, and we'll have an order block, right? So that is a possible high probability order block here on the M15. And then of course, if we close below this low here, it'll be even clearer on the M5. We're going to have a market shift, a break of structure to continue down into this zone from this premium, right? So we'll have a draw on price below, and you'd want to take your TP nice and quickly, right? So you can possibly get something like this to come back to this zone to trade down there. Stop loss just above the high there, right? Around that daily open. And I'd probably take my profit somewhere around here, right? Maybe stretch it to 3%, but that midline as well, or this BPR here. Okay, so that would probably be as far as I'd need to go with that, right? That sort of pullback move. Now, the high probability with trend trading, of course, like I said, will be from down here. Now if we look where all of this BPR, high time frame, 4 hour, 1 hour order blocks is, we also have an M15 order block there. So I'd want price to reach into this zone here and start to respect it, create some sort of order flow, maybe, you know, sweep some internal liquidity, and then we'll have that market structure shift, and then we'll look to get in to that trade to go higher, right? Loads of high time frame confluences around here. Okay, then we'd have our shift here from taking our internal sell side liquidity, whether it's from some sort of internal low or the actual low itself that we create, leaving behind an order block here, right, for us to go long, stop loss just below the lows, and then we can target literally today's high, right, or that final target, or wherever your target may be. Okay, so that's the sort of move I'd be looking for. We'd have possible inducement as well around this zone here, right, to sweep as we get our entry. So I hope that was clear. I hope you gained value from that. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.